When it comes to making a responsible energy decision for your family and the planet, choose clean natural gas from Atmos Energy. Natural gas is safer and more reliable than other energy solutions and can reduce your home's carbon emissions by up to 45%. By using less total energy than other energy sources, natural gas lowers your impact on the environment. It's just another way that Atmos Energy makes your life better. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Hi, I'm Roger Cador. I'm here to tell you about Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa. You won't find them on billboards, but you'll find them in the courtroom where real lawyers are. You see, billboards do not solve cases. Real trial lawyers do. So if you're hurt and need a lawyer, call 225-223-6333.
Welcome to week 6 of the Roger Cador Show. Clarence Buggs along with Roger Cador at the Shoppers Value on Plank Road, right plank at Airline. Coach, we get started this week. In the words of Muhammad Ali, the LSU Tigers and Bebe shocked the world.
Knocking
off number 10 Auburn in Death Valley. Auburn has not won here since 1999. Is there such a thing as in sports, when it comes to playing certain places, one team has got your number? They hadn't won here in 18 years, Coach.
Yeah, in that case, it probably is. But Bebe Orgeron told them put something in their coffee, and they did.
Apparently.
Hey, that was really great, Bebe.
Former coach Les Miles, also in attendance as they celebrated the 10th year anniversary of that national championship team, got a thunderous ovation from the crowd at Tiger Stadium. What do you think that meant to Les Miles?
Well, it meant a lot because he did a lot for that school and probably didn't deserve what he got with that great winning percentage.
Right.
But, let me just say this. It always makes you feel good when people appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a great feeling that comes along with that.
And, of course, it was truly a class act on behalf of the Tiger Nation to respond the way they did.
They certainly was. To do it any other way would have been cheap shot, but they stood up and gave Lester that big ovation.
The last 3 weeks, was that as classic an example as you will ever find of how quickly the fortunes can turn in war? I mean, you lose to Troy for homecoming, no less. Then you turn around, you beat Florida on their homecoming at their place, then turn around and knock off the number 10 team in the country. How quickly the fortunes change in a time of war.
Well, it does change, and you're dealing with young people. And the first half, that's why you can't give up on young people.
Right.
They stunk up the place early. Mm-hmm. But Bebe stuck with them. The game plan didn't change. And they rallied, the kids. That one play with that kickoff return, the punt return, did it. Mm-hmm. That changed the fortune, changed the momentum. They didn't look much better on offense, but boy, I tell you, they played a lot better on the defense.
So how much do you caution LSU fans and fans in general about not letting your highs get too high and not letting your lows get too low? Trying to find that equilibrium, because as in life, you're going to have some spots where things don't go according to plan.
Well, a lot of times they don't go according to plan, but you know what? Fans are who they are. But that's a tough league they play in. It's a very tough league, and every week you have to bring your A game. And that's one of the things I must say about Lil Nicky, Nick Saban. He's been able, now he gets the best players, but he's been able to get them to perform. Mm-hmm. And the most beautiful thing about Nick Saban is that he's got depth, that he can put guys in. He can play the 11 freshmen that he's playing.
That's right.
A lot of people can't do that, but he can play them. and he's getting them ready for postseason.
It is literally the epitome of what we call a plug-and-play system. Plug one in, keep right on playing. When we come back, we'll talk a little more Tiger football on The Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Hello.
Get caught up in the frenzy. 4 exciting new games from the Louisiana Lottery. Win up to $200,000. Scratch the back of the $500 Frenzy ticket for a bonus game. Score big with Frenzy today from the Louisiana Lottery.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagined big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, 1 family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit Breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Welcome back for segment 2 of the Roger Cador Show, brought to you in part by the wonderful folks over at Shoppers Value. Today we come to you from the Plank Road location, 3515 Plank Road. And you know, folks, it's one thing to get great prices on something, but what good is a great price without great service? Here in South Louisiana, we love to be treated like family. So when you're ready to save money and feel appreciated for spending your hard-earned dollars where you do, Shoppers Value is the place for you to be. With locations all across South Louisiana and parts of Mississippi, it truly is a name that says it all. Shoppers Value Foods. Coach, I found it interesting that the players on defense said that in the second half of the LSU-Auburn game, they really didn't do anything all that different. They stuck to the game plan, but the execution level was different. How big a difference does that make, not only in a game, but also in the game of life?
Yeah, it's what it takes. You see, every week the coach gives them a game plan, and they preach to the kid, remember your assignments. And if you do your assignments, we're going to have a measure of success.
Right.
Because everybody knows what to do. The same thing carry on in life. Don't try to be something you're not.
Right.
And if you don't try that and do the basic things, you're going to find out life is a lot simpler.
Speaking of life lessons, the littlest guy on the field ended up being the biggest guy on campus. Connor Culp nails 2 field goals. One of the gorgeous and endearing things about organized sports, there can be the great equalizer, can't it?
It really can. It's not about race, creed, money.
Amen.
It's not about family. It's all about who does the job between the lines.
So at least for the time being, Bebe has once again endeared himself to the LSU fans, knowing that this may be short-lived. Everybody loves you now. But of course now, he knew all this when he put his John Hancock on the contract, didn't he?
He certainly did. And the most beautiful thing about it was Jacques Doucet interviewed his mama. And she spoke that, whatever it was, oh, c'est bon. C'est bon, c'est bon.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful situation to see the mother there of Bebe Orgeron and enjoying the moment and being able to be proud of her son, and spoke her French in her native French tongue or whatever it was.
Lots of recruits in Tiger Stadium for this game. Can you put a dollar figure on what that does for the program to have young people there to watch an epic comeback like this in a venue like Tiger Stadium?
Well, you can't put a dollar value on them, but what you can put is that some of those kids are going to come there because that crowd, they did put something in that coffee.
Without a doubt.
They put something in that coffee. And I can tell you that they did what Baby asked them to do.
Now, lest we forget, this is still a pretty young team overall. That being said, with the strides that this team has made, as young as they are, in the last 2 SEC games, the Tiger faithful got to feel pretty good about what lies on the road ahead in the years to come, Coach.
Yeah, they are. Well, the one thing is I know how fans are. I keep going back there. If they don't win the next time, they'll be forgot about what they did the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'll be after someone's neck if you leave it up to fans. So you have to take fans for what they are. You know, they're emotional. They pay high dollars for the tickets. They help support the program.
Of course.
So you want to let them make sure that their words are heard, and then you do what's best for the program.
When we come back, we'll move ahead and talk a little Saints and some NFL when we come back for segment 3 of the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Get caught up in the frenzy. 4 exciting new games from the Louisiana Lottery. Win up to $200,000. Scratch the back of the $500 Frenzy ticket for a bonus game. Score big with Frenzy today from the Louisiana Lottery.
Welcome back for segment 3 of the Roger Cador Show, brought to you in part by the absolutely wonderful folks over at Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center, doing the absolute best to care for all of us and our health. And as a matter of fact, a little later on in the show, our special correspondent will have a special look at the newest facility on the Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center campus. It is a pleasure to be affiliated with the group that looks out for the most precious resource that any of us possess, and that, of course, is the gift of good health. Very special thank you for the partial sponsorship from Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center. Coach, the Saints finally get above 500 for the first time this season. What does it do for the psyche of a team to finally get to the point where you can look back and say, we've won more than we've lost?
Yeah, that's always positive. Listen, winning does a lot for you. People talk about losing help. Yeah, you learn when you lose, but it doesn't help you in sports.
Right.
People want you to win. At the end of the day, they count wins and losses.
Right.
So I think the Saints have put themselves in a pretty good situation if they can remain healthy and the defense continue to play. Of course, they had some letdown in the second half there against Detroit.
Right.
Gave up a lot of points, but the offense was able to do it, and the defense stepped up at the time they needed to.
Speaking of winning, trading away Adrian Peterson looked like it ended up being a win-win, both the Saints and the Cardinals. Saints racked up 193 yards rushing against the number 3 run defense in the league, while Adrian Peterson, traded away, ran for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns against Tampa Bay. Seems like a win-win for all involved.
I think it was. Adrian Peterson was never going to work out in New Orleans because of the sophistication of the offense, pass first type offense.
Right.
Well, St. Louis really needs him, and so Arizona, he's there, he's doing well, and I wish him well. And the Saints continue to win. Go Saints.
Of course, now, like a lot of victories in life in general, even when you win, there's some things that you want to clean up. For for example, 3 turnovers, 13 penalties for more than 100 yards. You can't win consistently playing ball like that.
Well, you're not going to win against a team that execute. So you need to watch that. And they could, you know, and that could be as a result of their week off. You know, they had a week off and they got rusty. So, you know, they'll be back, and hopefully they didn't have any key injuries.
Middle part of the schedule, looking ahead for the Saints, not nearly as daunting as the schedule that they played so far. Next game, you're going to take on Green Bay, traditionally a high-powered offense, but when you got your quarterback gone down for the rest of the season, now they're in scramble mode. How tough is it to guard against complacency when you've gotten above 500, you're kind of playing on a little bit of a roll, and the remainder, at least of the middle part of the schedule, is not really all that tough?
Well, you better not ever say that. It's still professional sports.
Right.
And when you play professional sport, the worst team in the league is still as good as the top team, because remember, on a given day, 33% of the bad teams are going to win. I mean, that's just the way it happens. So don't get complacent. Do your job. Stay healthy and execute, and take everything with a grain of salt.
If I didn't know any better, I think you snuck a look at the questions I have here. Parity, is it any more evident than it is in the NFL now, where on any given day, anybody can beat anybody else?
That's right. That's the way it is. I mean, if you go and talk with people as they look at, when they start looking at the schedule or teams, they look at the bottom half is going to win 33% of the time, and the top half is going to win 60-some% of the time. So that's basically how they look at it.
When we come back, we'll move ahead to segment 4 of this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Roger Cador. I'm here to tell you about Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa. You won't find them on billboards, but you'll find them in the courtroom where real lawyers are. You see, billboards do not solve cases. Real trial lawyers do. So if you're hurt and need a lawyer, call 225-223-6333.
Pod's moving in storage.
I need to clean out my study.
We'll deliver a container.
My brother-in-law's moving in.
Maybe he'll help you pack.
He's lazy.
We can refer some professionals.
It's just until he finds work.
We can keep things at our storage center for as long as it takes.
I am not happy about this.
Or you can keep your things on site for quick unloading.
Did you say freeloading?
I said unloading.
I heard freeloading.
I'm sure you did.
Store on site or let us drive your things to our secure storage center. Pods, moving and storage, solved.
Welcome back to segment 4 of the Roger Cador Show. Time now for our special correspondent, Aaron Fulbright. We mentioned earlier in the show Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center. Well, they've got a little something to be especially proud of. Aaron Fulbright has an inside look. Aaron, take it away.
Coach Cador has worked with the Our Lady of the Lake Foundation and President John Paul Funes for years. And last year, the foundation broke ground on what will be the new children's hospital. And the city is excited to see that. So I sat down with Mr. Funes to see what we can expect. Our Lady of the Lake Foundation oversees all of the philanthropic support for the entire medical center of Our Lady of the Lake here in Baton Rouge. For the past few years, their main focus has been on the Children's Hospital. They broke ground on the new site of the Children's Hospital last year. President of Our Lady of the Lake Foundation, John Paul Funes, says they are excited about the new project because it will serve more Louisiana and Mississippi kids.
Our Lady of the Lake Foundation oversees all of the philanthropic support for the entire medical center. our focus here in the last few years has been on our children's hospital, because we're building a freestanding children's hospital to serve all of Louisiana and parts of Mississippi and Texas. So that's been our major focus this campaign. We've been asked to raise a minimum of $50 million towards this effort. It's about a $250 million project, about $250 million. So from philanthropy, they're counting on $50 million, and we've raised a little bit over $42 million, so we're getting close. And the hospital's scheduled to open in 2 years, in the fall of 2019. The biggest impact the Children's Hospital is going to make for our community and for our state is right now, when kids have real specialized needs in pediatrics, they're having to leave the state. A lot of them have to leave the state. Some of them go to Boston Children's for heart surgery and heart procedures. A lot of them will go to Texas Children's in Houston for different things. We send patients to a couple children's hospitals in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And obviously, a lot of our cancer patients, through our partnership with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, go to Memphis. Those children will continue to go there, but as we build these specialists and we build this new children's hospital and we're capable of doing more for these children, we'll see less children leaving the state of Louisiana. And that's really important, especially because 70% of the kids we treat are on Medicaid or have no insurance. So only 30% are the typical insurance with Blue Cross, United, something like that. So that portability of Medicaid doesn't work as well outside of the state of Louisiana.
One of the big partnerships is when the hospital created over 8 years ago with St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.
Dr. Sheila Moore started that several years ago, and her idea was to make sure that we had the best cancer care for our patients. She'd previously been affiliated with LSU and said, let's go as a team and partner with St. Jude. So of those 8 affiliates all over North America, we are the busiest one by far. So that means we put more kids, we diagnose more kids with cancer here. And ultimately the plan is, it's working out now, that every kid used to have to go to Memphis to get what they start an induction, which you get their initial protocols and get started on chemotherapy. Now what we've been able to do, because that partnership has grown and is so strong, that a lot of inductions are being done now in Baton Rouge. So
one of their biggest fundraisers is coming soon that could help them reach their $50 million goal toward the Children's Hospital. Driving the Future, or better known as 5 Cars, 5 Winners.
Really, to generate money last year, we for the first time, we grossed over $1 million on that fundraiser. So the idea is to really help the Children's Hospital with raising money, but also raising awareness. During that 2-month period, there's a lot of talk, a lot of commercials, a lot of energy around this 5 cars. And as long as people understand and associate them with Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, then we're doing our job. So
Mr. Funes mentioned how important the hospital was to the community, but also how the community is important to the hospital. I volunteered with patient activities with Junior League and visiting with the children that are here in the hospital, and I see how important it is, just the little things, how much it makes a difference. So I encourage everyone to be a part of the foundation by giving what you can, volunteering, or whatever you can do. It really does make a difference. Back to you.
Thank you. Job well done, and congratulations to the LOL family, and a little something for all of Baton Rouge to be proud of as well. When we come back, we will wrap up this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Pause moving and storage.
We just sold our house.
Congratulations.
We have 2 weeks to move.
We'll deliver a few containers.
Our new home's not ready.
No problem. You can store things with us while you're between homes.
We might need help.
We'll refer trusted packers.
We'll be staying at my brother's.
Well, that sounds...
He has kids of his own.
Well...
5 of them.
Ma'am?
Help.
Trust us for local and long-distance moving and store at our storage centers. Pods, moving and storage, solved.
It was nearly a decade ago that Breck teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagine big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, 1 family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunners 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg, we just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Welcome back for the closing segment of this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Coach, let's talk a little playoff baseball. Who you like in the NLCS, Dodgers or Cubs?
I like the Dodgers.
Any reason in particular?
They've played well all year, and they've done it as a team. I mean, whoever he puts in does the job.
Right. All right, let's flip that coin then and talk about the American League Championship Series. Astros or Yankees?
I want the Astros. I love the way they do it. I want them to win. I will be able to go to the World Series.
Yeah, well, they do have some LSU connections, so I can understand a lot of folks in this area pulling the Astros, but I'm a lifelong Yankee man.
I know.
I am who I am. That's all I got to say about that. Jaguars off last weekend, take on Eastern Division rival Jackson State this weekend. Blue Bengals are winless so far up in Jackson, Mississippi. What's going on up there, Coach?
Things happen, man. I know a lot of people probably not happy, but I don't care. Go and beat them, Southern. Knock them off.
Coach, now, Jackson State could not have won a game in 4 years, but anytime the guys show up that have the S on their chest, you know it's going to be a dogfight. Don't take these folks for granted, right?
Oh, no, you better not take it for granted. And still, I expect a big crowd up there.
Oh, yeah.
People be tailgating, and the weather ought to be very nice.
Yes, yes.
It ought to be October weather.
and in all of HBCU-dom, if I could coin a phrase here, there's not a whole lot more that you can point to that gets any better anytime Southern and Jackson State hook up on the court, on the diamond, or on the field. It's always good stuff when it's Southern and JSU.
Well, even the band, Clarence, you left the band on. That's a big rivalry, too. So a lot of people are going to go down there and see what the band does.
Yeah, well, just for the record, there's the jukebox and them other folk. Okay. Having marched in the box, you know, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one. On behalf of the entire crew and, of course, the coach, Roger Cador, I'm Clarence Buggs. We'll see you from another Shopper's Value next week with another edition of the Roger Cador Show.